Ladies and gentlemen, I feel like the panic is setting in. While Donald Trump is now winning in the battleground states, the Lincoln Project is begging people to vote for a woman. Yo, this is funny. I warned about this. And the left, they get so mad. They yell at me. They say, Tim, you sexist. Me, I'm not a sexist. I'd vote for a lady Donald Trump any day. My issue is, as I brought up, I believe there are many people, probably older Democrats especially, who will not vote for a woman. So let me show you what they're trying to do. We'll pull up this hilarious, ridiculous, and awful ad, the White Dudes for Trump ad. We played it last week, but we got this new ad from the Lincoln Project. Choose change, they say, published this morning, voiced by Sam Elliott, that cowboy guy. What a moron. You know, this ad's so cringe-inducing. But wait, my friends, where it matters. Donald Trump's winning. I'm going to tell you why they're freaking out. Trump's winning. And my old friend ChatGPT gives us the data. Take a look at this. I said, what was the polling bias in 2016 presidential? And it goes, blah, blah, blah. I said, what was the average estimation, overestimation? ChatGPT says, in 2016, 3 to 4 points nationally overestimating Hillary Clinton. In some states, in the battlegrounds, the errors range from 4 to 7, like Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. Key states for Donald Trump. I said, give me the same for 2020. Joe Biden's overestimation was 3 to 5 points nationally. In key battleground states, the overestimation was even more pronounced, ranging from 4 to 7 in states like Wisconsin, Florida, and Ohio. Many polls, again, underestimated support for Trump. So let's pop over and take a look at the Real Clear Politics battleground average. And let's just say, if the battleground errors in these states was 4 to 7 points, hey, this makes sense. You know why? Joe Biden was leading Trump by like 8 to 9 points in some of these polls. And everyone was like, nah, they're lying. Well, you know, they were wrong, but he was still beating Trump. Take a look at where we're at now. In Arizona, Trump's up 2.2, massive. In Nevada, Harris is up by 0.2. Wisconsin's up 1. In Michigan, 1.7. Pennsylvania, 0.7. North Carolina, Trump leads by 0.4. And Georgia, Trump leads by 0.2. But let's play this game. And let's keep it, my friends, as conservative an estimate as we could possibly make. Let's entertain Trump only leading by 2 points over estimation, despite the fact that in 2016, they were off by 3 to 4. In 2020, it was 3 to 5. And in battleground states, both cycles, it was 4 to 7. That means we'd put it at 5.5 or so is what we should estimate the advantage Trump would actually have based on overestimation. I ain't gonna do that. I'm going to say Trump's the overestimation for Kamala Harris right now is only, hey, let's play a game. 2 points. Let's cut it in half. 2. Trump's up in Arizona 4. He's up in Nevada 2. He's up in Wisconsin by 1. He's up in Michigan by 0.3. Pennsylvania by 1.3. North Carolina by 2.4. Georgia by 4. If we factor in overestimation for the Democrats, because the polls have not improved. Now, Nate Silver says Harris has got the edge right now. 53.7 to win, Trump 46.0 based on these polls. And I think it's fair to point out that Nate Silver does talk about analyzing these biases. So it's fairly a toss-up, but Kamala's taken a bit of a lead. Now, one thing that's fascinating right now is there's talks in Nebraska. We got Nebraska right here with one district. Nebraska second, one electoral vote that could go Democrat despite Nebraska going red. However, there's a move in Nebraska that could make Nebraska winner take all. The Republican legislature says we're going to make the whole state winner take all. This could lead to a tie, which would be nuts. But let's talk about the real problem. The real problem. And I'll play for you the cringe-inducing ad because if I have to watch it, so do you. But we'll talk about it.
I can't believe we're having this conversation again. So here we go. You know who the candidates are. You know what's at stake. One candidate promises a divided America filled with lies and hate. And one stands for change. Kamala Harris has more courage, more honor, more guts than this guy ever had. So you decide, Are we really going back down that same fucking broken road, or are we moving forward towards hope, towards freedom, towards change?
We know a strong middle class has always been critical to America's success.
There's promise that lies in change, and the time for change is now. So what the hell are you waiting for? Because if it's the woman thing, it's time to get over that. It's time for hope, for change. It's time to be a man and vote for a woman.
Be a man, vote for a woman.
What are you waiting for? Because if it's the woman thing, it's time to get over that. It's time for hope, for change. It's time to be a man and vote for a woman.
Oh my God. Is it the internals really that bad, Lincoln Project? Kamala Harris, they must be seeing that guys are like, I ain't voting for a woman. So they literally get Sam Elliott, cowboy guy, to be like, it's time to effing stand up and vote for a woman to be a man. Yeah, be a man, vote for a woman. Oh, bro. Look at this one. This one we talked about last week. This one's so good. I mean good as in it makes you laugh at how cringe it is.
Hey, white dudes. So I think we're all pretty sick of hearing how much we suck. Every time you go online, it's the same story. We're the problem. And yeah, some white dudes are.
I love that.
Trump and all his MAGA buddies are out there making it worse.
Wait. All his MAGA buddies, those are women. I thought it was about white dudes sucking.
Shouting nonsense in their stupid red hats and acting like they speak for us when they don't. All they've ever done is screw us over. But if you're not on the MAGA train, where do you go? Isn't it just swapping out one crappy option for another? Then it hit me. This isn't about picking teams. It's about who's got a plan that's gonna make life better for me and my family. So I've been doing my own research and decided to check out Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. And before you jump down my throat, they're actually talking to guys like us. No lectures, no BS. Just real solutions that protect our freedoms and help us take care of the people who matter. And honestly, I think Harris and Walz are the ones to make that happen. End of the day, you're your own man. It's your call. But if anyone gives you crap about it, tell them it's none of their damn business.
You see what they do there? It's really fascinating. If anyone gives you crap about it, it's none of their damn business. Well, what they're saying is, if someone tries to convince you otherwise, plug your ears and say, get out of here. I don't want to argue about it because I saw a commercial where they said white dudes liked Kamala Harris or whatever. I got a commercial for you guys that I want to show. I think it's a much better commercial. Let me see if I can pull it up on my Twitter because I thought it was pretty good. And there's a bunch. Trump's commercials are masterfully done. And let me see if I can find this one. It was from last week, I think. Or was it from Friday? Can I find it? Oh, man. Wow. Here's a... Jeez. I'm scrolling past my ex. There's a video of Biden forgetting he's introducing the Prime Minister of India. Here we go. I got an ad for you right here. You see, while they're sitting here being like, hey, white dudes, then it hit me. You got to vote for Kamala Harris. Here's Trump's commercial.
We can't afford 4 more years of this.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Okay, so it's Tim Walz literally saying at a rally, we can't afford 4 more years of this. It cuts off, because I'm sure he then said something like, of Donald Trump or whatever. But then it just goes, I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message. And Wokeness says this ad should be blasted everywhere. There's legit a commercial that is being run. I don't know if it's by Trump or for Trump or whatever that, my friends have told me about. And it's on YouTube. You may have seen it where it's Kamala Harris and she's like, the price of bread is too high. The price of gas has gone up. The cost of living. And then it just goes, I'm Donald Trump and I approve this message. It's literally just showing Tim Walz and Kamala Harris talk about how what they are doing has been bad for this country. But here's what I want to talk about right now. We've already gone over the battleground states, Nate Silver, all this stuff. Election 2024 swing state polls. Trump takes 3 states in the latest survey. So you've got a bunch of polls coming out showing Donald Trump is winning. And they got these ads. I really do think you need to factor in the ending of this ad with the Lincoln Project.
To get over that. So what the hell are you waiting for? Because if it's the woman thing, it's time to get over that.
The fact that they have to say that, I don't believe Kamala Harris can win this. I think the October surprise is going to need to be that Joe Biden steps down, 25th Amendment, Kamala becomes president because she needs that I'm already the president advantage to try and give her a boost. Not that I think it'll really give her much of a boost. I don't know. But I'm absolutely loving where we're currently at. And the white dudes, no BS. His mega buddies and their stupid red hats with no plan. Dude, are you kidding me, man? Look, I don't know. Maybe you're the kind of default lib guy who never talks to any of your buddies at work, hasn't been to a grocery store in 4 months. You're going to vote for Kamala Harris? I was bringing this up earlier, but there's this viral video where you got a young guy, his name's Dean something, and he's quick-witted and he's like, let's talk about Kamala Harris's character and her policies versus Donald Trump. And then he goes, bobbity, bobbity, boop, boop, Kamala Harris, she did this, she did that, she cares about people, yada, yada. And it's just like, guy, talking fast doesn't make you sound more right. It makes you sound, to a lot of people, like you know what you're talking about, but it falls apart with even the simplest of questions and points. Now, by all means, if you want to play that game where you win a popularity contest, that's what liberals do. We can talk fast and just act like we know everything. We can say Donald Trump was falsely convicted. They changed the law in New York City to go after him. There were no victims. The banks he had worked with never lost a penny. Said, we're not victims. We want to work with Trump again. They still convicted him or found him liable for civil fraud. Sorry, not convicted. But they convicted him in this blah, 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 blah. You get the point. It doesn't, in my opinion, actually, it's not substantive. And based on what I know about podcasting and sales, there is something in the Gish Gallop where you say as many things as fast as possible. So it sounds like you know what you're talking about, and it confuses your opponent, makes it more difficult for them to respond. A technique that does work. You talk fast, you sound sure of yourself, it's convincing. I used to do this in fundraising. But I think the problem with that strategy when it comes to political debate is that if someone is actually listening intently, speaking slowly and more calmly, and flicking one of the lower structural columns of the argument, and it falls apart very easily. It's a pitfall of trying to do that. Gish Gallop is basically you say a bunch of things at once in a debate. It's a debate technique. And so I find that when I'm having conversations with women, they do this a lot. Men, less so, but men still do it a lot. I notice that when I'm having conversations with women and debating, they'll try and make 5 to 10 points all at once so that you can't answer any of them. And so I often find myself saying, like, stop, you made a point, it needs to be rebutted. You can't just say 10 things at once. But this is what this guy is doing. This is how they're going to try and win this game. They don't have any real strong arguments for Kamala Harris. I'll tell you this. Let's talk about Kamala's character. She's accused of, she's not a family person. So that is a big deal. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to, be single or whatever, marry a guy and then have stepkids, but she is not a traditional family mom or anything like that. That's always been a big deal for politicians. They always try to make sure that you're married. This is a big deal for Tim Scott, who announced that he's going to be marrying his longtime girlfriend. And they said, are you just doing this because you want to be VP? Media actually asked that. So Kamala Harris has questionable morals and character. She's accused of keeping people in prison beyond their terms, to use for cheap labor, to force them to fight wildfires. She's accused of keeping someone on death row with exculpatory evidence, which is terrifying. She's accused of having affairs with individuals or trying to sleep her way to the top. By all means, you can say it's all accusations. Then they come out and they say, well, Donald Trump was found liable in a court of law. Doesn't matter. It's not a convincing argument because they changed the law to make something like that possible, which is strange. Not to mention it's a 30-year-old accusation. So if you want to say there's accusations against Trump and Kamala, then I'm just saying we're wasting our time on this one. Let's talk about policy. What policies does Kamala have? Honest question. Go. That's right. None. You can talk about things she's proposed recently. $25,000 for houses. Well, have you asked any financial expert who works in the housing market? They're panicking over this. They say it's going to be damaging to the housing market, and it's going to force prices up like we saw with college tuition and student loan debt. Not a good idea. Banks, now seeing that people are getting guaranteed loans, are going to start treating houses the same way college is being treated, and it's going to cause problems. It's going to cause the prices to go up. It's not going to make it easier for the average person to buy a house. It's going to make the average person dependent upon that grant from the government to be able to buy the house in the first place. You can talk about abortion by all means, whatever. But the president is not setting policy at the domestic level. They can argue for it. They can advocate to Congress, but the president is dealing with foreign policy and national security issues. Why you think Kamala Harris should be that person? Sorry, there literally is no argument. I'll try to make them for you, but there isn't one. She's been the tie-breaking vote in the Senate for leftist, for liberal policies that have resulted in higher costs. Rent has gone way up. How are they acting like in this White Dudes for Kamala commercial? It says notice of eviction right here. Yeah, under Biden-Harris, rents have gone up. The old apartment that I used to have in New York that was $1,900 is now $32. I'm like, man, it's been like 7 years. I guess it's a long time. $3,200. How does anybody afford that? Wages haven't gone up. And it wasn't big enough for multiple people. So here we are. Make the argument. Make the argument all you want, I guess. I find it to be meaningless. They try to act like there's something substantive behind Kamala Harris, but let's just bring it back to Sam Elliott once again. The woman thing is huge. And the left, they want to act like it's not the case. When I mentioned months ago that Kamala Harris has a detriment in inherent sexism that they'll find in this country, I was called sexist for suggesting it because these people know Kamala Harris has a legitimate problem. There are women who will not vote for a woman. There are older men who will not vote for them. There are younger guys who won't do it either. There's going to, like, I have to wonder, man. You know, in Kamala Harris, she skipped the Al Smith dinner where the presidential candidates normally get together. They do a charity event and they rib on each other. She skipped it. The last time it was skipped was Mondale. You guys remember what happened with Mondale? Let me pull up Mondale for you. Mondale election. Wikipedia. I wasn't alive for this, mind you. But let's entertain the possibility that we're going to get a Mondale style turnout. Look at this. Oh, what is this? It was a 49 state landslide for Ronald Reagan. He carried 49 states. That's crazy. That's the kind of unity I'm hoping for. He had 58.8%. That's what I'm talking about. I'd like to see that with Trump. 525 electoral votes. Maybe. Let's do this. In 1980, it was Reagan, Carter, and John Anderson as an independent out of Illinois. And Reagan carried 489 electoral votes in 44 states. It was massive. It was bad news that John Anderson ran. Reagan wasn't gonna be beat. And then in 84, Reagan, man, people loved the guy. Absolutely loved the guy. Now, to be fair, Carter wasn't doing all that well. Mind you, the economy wasn't doing all that well. His running mate at the time was Walter Mondale, who in 84 decided to run, and he got crushed. He did carry his home state of Minnesota and I believe D.C., so congratulations, sir. I don't believe we will ever see anything like this again. This country is much, much, much too divided. But I got to tell you, I'd like to get close. Now, I think Donald Trump's formed a coalition with RFK Jr., Tulsi Gabbard, and he's Vivek Ramaswamy, many other people that I think are great. Tulsi and RFK Jr. are massive additions to his team that I think can attract moderates and actually give Trump a lead we don't expect. With the polling biases right now and that ridiculous commercial where they're like, what are you waiting for? Is it the woman thing? Get over it. Uh-oh. Their internals are bad, aren't they? I think Trump's winning. We're recognizing he's winning. And I don't know that he wins. If you think right now that you walk away from this and Trump wins in 43 days, Kamala Harris is the president. In the national election, Kamala Harris is currently up 2.2. But I'm going to give you some. Hillary Clinton was up 3 points. That was her estimated bias. Trump narrowly won. They say, yeah, but he got a lot of electoral votes. No. He only won by 44,000 or something. In 3 states, it was very narrow, and Trump barely won. Joe Biden's lead was 7.1 nationally. The bias, they say, was between 3 and 5% for him. As of September 23rd, 2020, Biden was up nationally 7.1 to Hillary Clinton's 3.0. And today, Harris is up 2.2. If we assume a national bias of 3 points, Trump is winning the national popular vote by 0.8. There's no guarantees. There's only, are you willing to do the work? Because I tell you this, that shadow campaign is no joke. So what do? Do you sit back and say, how are we supposed to win in the face of a shadow campaign, Tim? It's impossible. No, it's not. I'm telling you right now, nothing substantive has changed with these polls. Same people are running them. 2016, 2020, today. The bias was 3 to 4 or 3 in 2016, 3 to 5 in 2020. Assuming it remains the same, Trump and Harris are neck and neck. And that means you need to do the work. Knock on doors, talk to your friends, get involved. See what Scott Pressler's got going on, because that guy's registering people to vote like crazy. And that's the game plan. Republicans need serious ground game in order to win this one, because it can't just be the presidency. Trump has to win, and the Republicans have to take the House and the Senate, or else they will impeach Donald Trump in 2 seconds. We'll see, man. Should be fun. Smash that like button, subscribe to this channel, share the show right now with everyone you know. Take that URL, share it. Share this video. It really does help the show. Appreciate all your support. Go to timcast.com, become a member and support us directly. GetComingHome.com, the new song. You need iTunes to pre-order, but it'll be up Friday. We're going to go to Super Chats. The next segment will be coming up at 4 p.m. on this channel. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all then.